They were Chinese from Trinidad and Tobago, Caribbean islands, owned by the British. And Joyce Armstrong also got me interested in dinosaurs. I was very interested in dinosaurs. She gave me a book for prehistoric animals by a guy called Burian in Augusta. It was stolen by Diane Peters. The book, very valuable book. Diane Peters played the harp. She lived with us in a shared house in Melbourne at William Street, owned by the Freemasons. That's where I wrote my book, Psychiatric Tales and Words About Life. I sent a copy of Psychiatric Tales and Words About Life to Prince Charles after being locked up at the Prince Charles Hospital. And I got a letter back saying, His Royal Highness thanks you for sending your book, Psychiatric Tales and Words. Psychiatric Tales and Words, rather than Psychiatric Tales and Words About Life. And the book was printed by the CIA. Wall Heath and Carl Heath. Carl was the son of Wall, who was in the American military in the Vietnam War. And they misprinted it on purpose. I got 1,000 copies printed. 1,000 copies printed. I'll show you how they misprinted it later. See, that's the alarm call. That's another. You can see the pigeon wasn't alarmed. It's taken me years and years to have these birds respond to my talking to them. I've still got a lot to learn about it. I'll show you something else. This bird. This is what they call a scrub turkey. A bush turkey or a brush turkey. This is a young male. You can tell that because of the yellow neck rather than the cream neck of the female. You can tell that it's young because it doesn't have a big wattle. It's got hairs on its head. His head. But this bird, if you look carefully at his beak, you'll see that it's deformed. The upper beak is deformed. It's because of a mutation that I think they caused on purpose. I've had heaps of them in the last few months, all with deformed beaks. At first I thought they were cutting them off, but they're not. It's a mutation. See the deformed beak? There's variation in how bad it is. Its scientific name is Ladectura lathami. named after an English physician, a doctor, who they call the father of Australian ornithology. The turd never came to Australia. They just sent him specimens. So he named Alexandra Lathami after himself. These people are so arrogant. Now look at this. This is the behavior, social behavior of these birds. Flap their wings and stick their tongues out at each other. And they flap their wings. You see, they're very social. I've had a lot more of them in the last few days. Mandarina manifesta. So there are some, they're called noisy miners, also called miner birds. They said it's because they have a black cap, but I don't think that's true. I think they were taken into the mines, like they took canaries. Canaries to see if they died because of poison gas. So these birds sell for thousands of dollars each. The rainbow lorikeets. It's illegal to sell them, to send them overseas. But it's not illegal to kill them and trap them. It's not illegal to massacre koalas. There was a massacre of koalas, which are not bears, they're not koala bears, they're koalas. There was a massacre of them in New South Wales. The police said that they couldn't do anything about it because they're not on the list of endangered animals. Terrible. So I asked the local member, Graham Parrott, I asked his receptionist if she knew about the massacre of the koalas. And she said, maybe. Well said, maybe. They're also secretive. And Gia Tran, the Vietnamese woman, neo-Nazi, who's been harassing me for 2 years, saying that my place poses a public health risk. She said she had no comment about the trafficking of birds. No comment. She reckoned she was an ecologist because she collected butterflies when she was a child. I collected butterflies as well, but I stopped. She didn't. So this woman calls herself Officer Tran and calls me Mr. Seniviratnam or just Ramesh. She refuses to speak to me. She didn't know that there are native rodents. They call them all designated pests. Designated pests. The way you can tell the native rodents from the introduced pest species is the native rodents are diurnal. Diurnal means they're active in the daytime. And crepuscular She is active at dusk. Whereas roof rat, sewer rat, black rat and house mouse are all nocturnal. They introduced species from Britain and Norway. So I had native rodents and they poisoned them while I was locked up at the PA hospital. Poisoned them, poisoned my plants, poisoned my garden. The poison was so powerful that I almost died. I was paralyzed. They cut off my phone so that I couldn't ring the ambulance. I had to go and ask Sylvia Collis across the road to call the ambulance for me. I recorded my last will and testament because I was dying. And these are the people who are saying my house poses a health risk, public health risk. Here trying to refer to my sanctuary with inverted commas, with quotations, as if it's not a real sanctuary. And she's working under a guy called Paul Maloney. These people, power has gone to their heads. Paul Maloney read me my rights before he came on my land. And anything I do can be used as evidence against me. I want these people arrested and charged with crimes against nature and personal crimes against me. Heinous crimes these people have committed. They keep turning off my water. The police said I was digging trenches in my yard. Digging trenches in my yard. My grandfather, Winsor Alagratnam, was Director of Irrigation. Director of Irrigation in Sri Lanka. I was very close to him. So there's one of my inventions, which I've tested many times, is my rain machine. It's all part of my rain machine. The rain machine, the climate corrector and a weather machine. That's why we've had perfect weather for years in Maruka. Perfect weather for years. As I say, Maruka, beautiful one day, perfect the next. So if you don't water your garden, it doesn't grow. That's pretty obvious. But if you don't water your garden, it doesn't rain either. Because trees are necessary for it to rain. The reason is that like we shed cells from our skin, trees also shed cells from their leaves and their bark. These form condensation points. So Ingia Tran said that my garden is overgrown. What is overgrown? It's luxuriant. Luxuriant. I have pioneered mixed agriculture. I don't use any artificial fertilizers or poisons, insecticides, herbicides, weed killers. I just let it grow. This bird has no tail. So this beautiful, magnificent tree, which is why I bought this house, it's called a Royal Poinciana. And they say on the internet that they were introduced all over the world from Madagascar, where they're almost endangered. I'm pretty sure that that's rubbish, because you can tell from the lorikeets that they co-evolved. They got the same colors. You also get them all over Gondwana. People don't know about Gondwana, but I'm educating people about Gondwana. Gondwana is a supercontinent. A supercontinent. When Pangaea broke up into Laurasia and Gondwana. Gondwana included the global south. What they're calling the global south now. That is Australia, Antarctica, South America, India, Sri Lanka, Madagascar, Arabia, Timor, Papua New Guinea, it's actually Papua, Melanesia, that's Gondwana. And the wildlife of Gondwana is related, as well as the geology. They named it after the Gond people of South India. They call it Gondwana land. It's not Gondwana land, it's Gondwana. There's no go, there's no oh sound in Sinhala. There's only an oh sound. So these manarinas are classed as honey eaters, but as you can see, they're omnivorous. They're very good at catching insects. They catch insects as well. Very intelligent, very active, and they're very good at flying. So that's one of the... I'm pioneering bioenergy. This is Mandarina power disc. These are laser discs. Lasers. DVDs and CDs, compact discs, and digital versatile discs. This is a compact disc that I'm using to stream to Telesur. Telesur represents the global south. South America and the Caribbean. See how peaceful it is? Without motors. I was so upset. I was so upset when they brutalized my garden with chainsaws and whippersnippers. And they call themselves gardeners. They're gardeners. They're murderers. Plunderers. They plunder our frogs as well. I've got a frog breeding program that they've been trying to stop my frog breeding program because it's interfering with their program. They're a racket. It's not a program, it's a racket. In the last few days, I've had striped burrowing frogs. They go tock, 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 tock. I haven't had them for years. I had them before, about 10 years ago. Now also green tree frogs. Yeah, trans boss and her didn't know that there's a frog extinction crisis. They didn't care about it either. As well as a guy called Jacob Mead, M-E-A-D. He's a Brisbane City Council enforcement team. They're criminal gangs. They quoted my sister a sum of $40,000 to $50,000 to clear my land. That's a bribe. A bribe to destroy my sanctuary. My sister threatened to evict me from my own house at the age of 62. Make me homeless like they did in 2015. They stole my precious coin collection, art, recording equipment, and lots more. I reported to the police, but they didn't investigate it because they were involved. I also stole my video camera, my still camera, my memory sticks, my Aboriginal art, my own art. My father was in charge of it, my father and sister. I reported that over and over again, but they never took action. Because the guy who runs the Maruka station, police station in 2013, is a crook. His name is Senior Sergeant Tony Collins. He reckons that every cop car needs to have a rifle. Because he says the police are outgunned. What a crap. I want this man arrested and charged. We know how corrupt the Queensland police are since the Fitzgerald inquiry. The current police commissioner, her name is Christina Carroll.